Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 30th of July and welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis. So friends, in the video we are going to discuss the entire analysis of the Hindu newspaper along with the background as well as what could be the detailed way forwards. Now guys, before starting I would like to tell you that you could download the explainer PDF from the Telegram channel and the link for the Telegram channel has been given in the description box. Now, first of all, before starting up, let's see the overview of the entire newspaper so that we can understand that which articles are going to be important for our examination. Now, here we have the page number 1. A strong government does not control everything. So guys, basically we have seen in this particular direction, see, first of all, when we talk, the Prime Minister has visited the Tamil Nadu. Now, basically the Prime Minister has given a message that when we talk about the government aims to decentralize, government aims to liberalize on many of the fronts, government believes to give autonomy. Okay, so this is something that has been taken. Then the details of the Prime Minister's visit on the convocation of Anna University and all these things are there. Fine, you don't need to go too much into the detail. Then core sector output expands by 12.7%. Fine, so there is a kind of an improvement that could be seen here. Fine. Then moving on, after that technology, teach law, medicine in regional languages. Fine, so guys, we'll see this with this particular article, that how the regional education in regional languages can promote the inclusivity. Fine. Then after that, moving on, then the new warnings on all the tobacco products coming soon, etc. All these things have been provided. 6 pleas challenging the Places of the Worship Act is there. Fine. Now guys, see, basically you don't need to go in these particular kind of an articles, because see, these petitions have been filed. If something concrete will come, if Supreme Court will give some final judgment, then we need to see. For example, just 2 days back we have seen that Supreme Court has given a judgment on onto the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So such things become important. Then Kerala tops in the holding assembly sittings. So with respect to the working of the state legislatures, fine, we are going to see this particular article. After that, no fallout between LG and me, Chief Minister. Fine, this is the regional section, and in the regional section, regional issues, fine, advertisements, etc. Such kind of things have been given. Moving on. After that, guys, in this particular direction, much important things have not been there. However, here there is one particular article: Kerala keen to replace wheat with ragi from center. So, guys, we'll see this particular article and we'll see that what is the difference between the food security, nutrition security. Okay. Then moving on. After that, we reach to the editorial page. Now, on the editorial page, the first article, we need to protect the whistleblowers. Now, this is a good article with respect to GS paper number 2. We'll see this particular article. After that, overcoming the Aryan Dravidian divide. So guys, what happened recently, the Tamil Nadu governor, he made some comments where he said that there is apparent difference between the Aryans who live in the North India and the Dravidians who live in the South India. So that particular thing has been criticized a lot, and in this particular direction, basically the comments and the critics have basically come out with many of the articles, and on that particular line, now this article is there. Now guys, see, understand this particular thing, that with respect to our UPSC examination, such controversies are not important. Fine, we need to see academic sense. In academic sense, regionalism is an important thing, but remarks made by governor and all these kind of a thing and politicization is not important. Now this particular article, if we see with respect to the UPSC exam specific substance is not there in this particular article, so I'll not recommend you to go too much in this article. Then tumbling skeletons, so the sacking of the Partha Chatterjee. Fine, so basically here we have seen that the Partha Chatterjee has been sacked because of some corruption charges. Then the TMC, BJP, fine, their controversies and all these things have been mentioned. Fine, so political article not important for examination. Then guys, this article is talking about the Tunisia. Okay, so basically guys, yesterday's newspaper analysis, that is the 29th of the July, I have discussed this entire Tunisian crisis right from 2010, Arab Spring, all those things we have discussed. We have seen that our referendum has also been marked. So you might have seen the yesterday's newspaper analysis already. It's fine. So if you have seen that, guys, no need to read this particular article because we have discussed it already in much detail. And if you have not seen, then again I'll say that rather than reading this article, go and see the previous day, because from the scratch I have discussed there the entire issue. Fine. Then token prohibition takes a toll in Gujarat. So guys, this is a ground zero report that comes on Saturday. Now basically there was a huge tragedy where large number of people died by consuming the adulterated spurious liquor. Fine, so this is talking about how the people who have died in this particular thing. Then Parliament paralyzed as parties step up attack. So guys, we have seen this particular thing from past few days. Every day there are this parliamentary disruption that is going on as the monsoon session is going on. Fine. So basically the opposition as well as ruling government, they need to understand their respective responsibilities, and just a constructive criticism and constructive debates should take place in the parliament. Fine. After that, moving on, after that these huge tragedy, again this particular thing is mentioned. Fine. Modi unveils India's first global bullion exchange. Fine. Then CPI flags need for opposition unity. Okay, now see guys, these are basically the remarks, the comments that are being made by politicians and opposition, and all these things are going on. Fine. So opposition unity means that the opposition should come together, should not be fragmented, and should question the government. Fine. Then moving on, Supreme Court Collegium reiterated 13 names for the High Court judges. Fine. After that, Jaishankar pushes for the Chabahar port. We'll see this particular article. Okay. Then boon for leaf plates, ball makers. So guys, this could be a good case study which could be used in GS paper number 2. We'll see this particular thing. Then after that, Patna Road wash with posters, saffron flags, nothing important. Then on the world page, Russia-Ukraine crisis is going on. Now guys, on this particular thing, every day some development comes and one article comes. You don't need to follow every day-to-day development in this particular respect. Fine. Then further moving on, after that we reach to the business page. Fine. Corporate trends, etc. Fine, have been discussed. Fine. These corporate trends, etc. are not important, guys. Fine. We needed to see the articles which have some dimension with respect to the Indian economy. Okay. Then we have the sports page. Now guys, let's start the analysis of the newspaper with in detail, and now let's start the article by article discussion. Now first of all, every class we start with the GS quotation. So today guys, we have taken the quotation from the Martin Luther King Jr., who has been one of a very prominent civil rights activist of the modern times. So Martin Luther King Jr. says that the education without morals is like a ship without a compass, merely wandering nowhere. So guys, what is the role of a compass? Compass provides the direction. Compass provides the direction. Fine. In the same way, the morals have been called as the inner compasses, which tells you what is right and what is wrong. So if education is not able to teach the morals, then that particular education is useless, that particular education is purposeless. So the education with the morals is the need of the hour. And in this particular thing, we have even in the new education policy of 2020, this particular role, value based education role, we have also recognized. This particular idea we can use in GS paper number 2. We can use it in GS paper number 2 as well as GS paper number 4, ethics. Fine. Now let's start with the first article. So the first article we have taken from the page number 1. Article reads, Kerala tops in holding assembly sittings in 2021. Now guys, this particular article, first of all, we can use as an example, as a case study in GS paper number 2. In GS paper number 2, evaluation of the functioning of the legislative assemblies. Evaluation of the functioning of the legislative assemblies. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about the assembly sessions as well as the parliament sessions, the parliament at the level of center and the state legislative assemblies at the level of the state, they have to meet regularly to discuss the matters, to discuss the matters which impact people, to discuss about the bills, to discuss about the laws that are to be brought in, the laws that have to be changed, etc. Now guys, when we talk about the Constitution of India, the House has to meet within the span of the 6 months. More than 6 months gap should not be there between the House sessions. Fine. Now guys, as a practice, we generally hold the 3 sessions at the level of Parliament. We have the budget session, then we have the monsoon session, then we have the winter session. On the similar lines, the session are also held into the state legislative assembly, Vidhan Sabhas in the state. Now guys, when these assemblies are meeting, there is a problem that their sessions have been very much short. Moreover, even in these short sessions, there are the disruptions that are there, and because of that, the legislative work is getting impacted. The law making has been impacted into the legislatures. In this particular direction, guys, recently what had happened, PRS has released its data with respect to the functioning of the state legislative assemblies across the country. And in this particular direction, the PRS data provides this particular thing, that the Kerala is a state Kerala, it is a state which have recorded the highest number of sittings. So the Kerala in 2021, it has basically recorded the 61 sessions in total. After that, on second number is Odisha. Fine. Then we have the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and here we can see that the Gujarat, it has just held the 24 sessions in one entire year. Now guys, Kerala therefore needs to be appreciated that it is actually working seriously onto the legislative matter. Fine. Now guys, in this particular direction, there is some value addition that we can do. See, basically when we talk about the sitting of the legislature, the meeting of the houses, then National Commission to Review the Working of the Constitution, which was constituted in 2000, it has specifically provided that the houses need to meet for more number of days so that they can do more constructive deliberative work. Now guys, when we talk about the work of a house, okay, it number one has a law making work. Secondly, it has a deliberative work. Third, within the house, the government accountability could be asked, government could be questioned on some very critical matters. So for that particular thing, house needs to meet for a longer duration. And the National Commission to Review the Working of the Constitution has provided that the basically the houses of the states and legislature which has less than 70 members, for example Puducherry, fine, they need to meet at least 50 days a year, and the big states which have more than 70 members in their legislature, they need to meet at least for the 90 days. Now guys, in this particular direction, though all the states are not performing good, but the Kerala has been the best performer. Moreover guys, after that, see, there was also the presiding officers conference that was held in 2016. So presiding officers of all the houses of the state legislative assembly, they met in a presiding officers conference in 2017, and there also it was provided that the state legislatures, if possible, needs to meet at least for the 60 days in one particular year. And here on this particular front, we can see that the Kerala has performed the best. It has met for 61 days and it meets the criteria set by the presiding officers conference. No other state has reached that particular thing. Now guys, on an average, if we see the sittings of the legislature, they are going down, and between 2016 and 2021, the PRS provides that the 23 state assemblies met for an average of just 25 days, which is very much less. Now guys, after that, though Kerala has performed good in number of meetings, but at the same time, Kerala has also been the state where they have announced the highest number of ordinances. Now guys, when we talk about the ordinances, okay, so basically when we talk about the ordinance, now the ordinance is a kind of an extraordinary tool. Fine, ordinance has been an extraordinary tool by which the government basically the executive can provide what should be done. Now guys, in this particular capacity, when we talk about the ordinance, article 123 at the level of parliament, at the level of the center, gives the power to make the ordinance, to notify the ordinances. Now guys, when we talk about ordinances, Supreme Court has repeatedly said that ordinances should be an extraordinary devices. In normal routine, the ordinances should not be announced, should not be released. But guys, the Kerala government has also announced the highest number of ordinances in the country. So Kerala government had promulgated 144 ordinances, which is highest. Is it clear or not? Now guys, basically, when we talk about the ordinances, the parliament has power under article 123, as well as the state government has the power. For the state government, article 213 is there, which gives them the power of ordinance. So this was the working of the legislative assemblies. Could be important for GS paper number 2. Please use it. Now moving to the next article. Teach law, medicine in regional languages, Shah. So this particular article guys, we are going to use with respect to the GS paper number 2, education. GS paper number 2, education. Fine. Now see, basically when we talk about the education, recently we had come out with the biggest reform for the education sector, that is the new education policy 2020. New education policy 2020. Now the new education policy 2020, first of all, concerned the two aspects of the education. It concerned the school level education as well as it concerned the higher education. Now guys, when we talk about the new education policy 2020, a distinct feature of the NEP was that it provided that the education in the regional language should be promoted. It provided that the regional languages should be promoted, because guys, see this particular thing, that a person, first of all, becomes proficient into the regional languages, the languages which he hears, speaks in his home, and the original thinking also develops into the regional languages. But if a person is being imposed with some another language, let's say English, let's say Hindi, and if in some third language only the education is being provided, it impacts the original thinking. So NEP has provided that now we want to promote the original thinking, and therefore the education in regional language will be promoted. In this particular direction, guys, now the government is also exploring that in the higher education also the regional language should be promoted. Now, new education policy 2020 NEP provided that now we are trying to counter the Macaulay education system that was brought by the Britishers to colonize the mind of the Indians. Now, what is the Macaulay education system? Macaulay education system is based on certain core themes. Number one, Macaulay system of education is based on, number one, that basically the English, it has been given a kind of an elitist status. Okay, the regional languages, the regional culture, the native culture, it has been ridiculed. British taste, okay, English, okay, it has been given more of a importance. Moreover, there is focus on rote learning because Britishers were never interested to explore the intellectual faculties of Indian. They just wanted Indians to help them in some kind of an assistive work. So therefore it is based on rote learning, memorization of facts, etc. Now NEP, rather than this, NEP provides the critical thinking, out of the box thinking. Fine. Now guys, basically what has happened now into the NEP, even in the higher educations, the regional languages are being promoted. Now guys, basically the here the Home Minister had provided this thing that the law, the medicine, etc. needs to be taught into the regional languages. Now he had also provided one particular thing that basically 95% of the children in India, they actually receive the primary education in their mother tongue. Only 5% children are there who are receiving the education in English or some other language. So basically when in the higher education English is being imposed, their talent is basically their potential is not being reaped. Now in this particular direction, guys, just some value addition I want to give you. So what has happened up till now? Just a suggestion has been made that we should promote regional languages in higher education. But guys, altogether already there have been some positive steps that have already been taken. For example, last year in 2021, what has happened? All India Council for Technical Education AICTE had granted the permission to 20 colleges that they can start the engineering courses into the regional language. So 20 colleges are already providing the engineering courses in regional language. This is something that has happened. Moreover, government is driving some another initiatives also to promote the regional languages in higher education. For example, what government has done? Number one, the Commission for Scientific and Technical Terminology has been started, and this particular commission, it is providing the publication grant to the colleges, to the institutions, so that they can publish so that they can publish the university level books, university level curriculums into the regional languages. Then after that, the National Translation Mission NTM, it has also been implemented. Now National Translation Mission will translate the books from English language to the regional languages. So these two missions have also been taken up, which you could note down in your notes. So that's all about this particular article, and now let's move to the next article. Now this particular article, actually it is a very good case study that could be used in GS paper number 2, that is the role of self-help groups. GS paper number 2, role of self-help groups. Okay, just a minute. Now basically guys, the article, first of all, what it reads that the boon for leaf plates ball makers in Himachal Pradesh after the ban of the single-use plastics. Role of self-help groups. Now basically, before going in this particular article, guys, let's take some of the background. So basically, from July 2022, government had instituted a ban on the single-use plastic. So single-use plastics such as the poly bags, straws, stirrers, fine, earbuds, fine, they can now not be sold. Now after this particular thing, the artisans and the workers into the Himachal Pradesh, they have got a new opportunity. Now they are making the leaf balls, they are making the leaf plates, okay, and all these particular kind of things. In this particular direction, guys, the government is providing them help, financial incentives are being provided. Moreover, even the technical assistance is being provided to these artisans. Now, in this particular direction, the Himachal Pradesh is doing really a good work. What Himachal Pradesh is doing? Himachal Pradesh Forest Department had collaborated with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, and here these basically organizations, they are establishing people, they are organizing people in the self-help groups, they are providing them the financial assistance, they are also giving them the technological assistance, they are providing them the machines, so that by machines they can make these leaf balls, leaf plates, all these particular kind of a thing. So basically this is the project which has been named as Improvement of Himachal Pradesh Forest Ecosystem Management and Livelihood Project. In this particular thing, they are using the leaves that can be procured locally. For example, Bahunia Wahili, this is also called as a tor. Now the tor, it is used for making these plates and the balls, and this particular tree, it is a tropical climate tree which is found into the lower parts of the lower areas of the state. Fine. So basically here we can see that how an adversity is being converted in opportunity. So guys, two things we can learn from this particular thing. Number one, converting the adversity in opportunity. Okay. And second example is that, guys, an essay has been asked in this particular line in the UPSC. It has been said that rather than providing a dole, we should focus on lending a hand. Now, what is providing a dole? Dole is to give them some monetary assistance, to give them some handouts, some occasional helps, that is giving them some dole. And lending a hand means building the capabilities, building the capacities. So here the Himachal Pradesh, it is giving them the technological assistance, it is giving them the financial assistance so that they can start their business, and it is a very good example of lending a hand rather than giving a dole. So very good thing. Fine, please use it in your answers. Now moving to the next article. Kerala keen to replace wheat with ragi from center. Okay. So guys, first of all, this particular article we are going to use with respect to GS paper number 2, hunger. GS paper number 2, hunger. Okay. Even in GS paper number 3, food security, we can use this particular article. So guys, there are two things. There are two words. One is food security and the other is nutritional security. Food security and the other is the nutritional security. Now, when we talk about the food security, government already has come out with the National Food Security Act 2013. And under the National Food Security Act, government is providing the subsidized food allocations to the people. Under the NFSA 2013, 75% people into the rural areas, 50% people into the urban areas, and in total 66% people at the pan-India level will be provided the subsidized food grains. Under this National Food Security Act, from the public distribution systems, through the fair price shops, people can procure rice at the rupees 3 per kg, wheat at the rupees 2 per kg, and other coarse grains at the rupees 1 per kg. Is it clear or not? So government is providing the food here. Now guys, by this particular thing, the people who cannot afford the food, they are being provided the adequate food. So government is aiming to provide the food security. But okay, so good, this is food security, but it might not be the nutritional security. What is nutritional security now? Nutritional security means that a person needs to have adequate macronutrients as well as micronutrients in its diets. When we talk about macronutrients, there need to be an adequate combination of the carbohydrates, fat and proteins. Is it clear or not? And when we talk about micronutrients, there are the 23 micronutrients which pertains to the vitamins, minerals, etc. So the macro and micronutrients need to be there in a particular balance. Now guys, when we talk about the PDS system, cereals are being provided more. Okay, and the cereals are the good source of carbohydrates. Fine, what about the protein? So food security is there because the subsidized food is being provided, but what about the nutritional security? So therefore, in this particular direction, guys, number one, the basket of food that is being provided under the National Food Security Act needs to be expanded. In this particular direction, guys, now the Kerala had made a request with the central government. Now what Kerala says that the wheat should be replaced by the ragi from the center. So guys, when we talk about the National Food Security Act, when we talk about this National Food Security Act, the center will provide the grains to the state government, and the state government will actually distribute these particular food grains to the end beneficiaries. So the Kerala had made a request to the center that rather than the wheat, provide us the ragi. Now why they want to have the ragi? So said the Kerala government had provided this particular thing, that the ragi powder as well as the chickpeas, fine chickpeas instead of wheat atta, it will be help in fighting the anemia. It will help in fighting the anemia. So guys, anemia, basically anemia, it is a condition where basically the number of RBCs they go down. Fine. Now guys, RBCs, red blood cells, they are responsible for providing the oxygen to the different body organs, and if the number of RBCs or if the RBCs oxygen carrying capacity will go down, then there could be the starvation of oxygen, fine, of the body organs. Fine. Now in India, when we talk about anemia, it is a very big problem. Okay, and according to the National Family Health Survey 5, nearly 50% women in India, actually more than that, are suffering from the anemia. Now, in order to fight the anemia, the ragi and the chickpea are being asked. Okay, so this particular thing, moreover, Kerala government had provided that 2022 to 2023 we are celebrating the International Year of Millets, and in this particular thing, the ragi is a very good millet which is to be provided, fine, as well as particularly the tribal families, as they are facing a nutritional insecurity, it is going to help them. Is it clear or not? Fine. So this is a kind of a thing that has been there, and guys, number one, not only the Kerala, other state governments also need to explore that how by just diversifying the food basket they can ensure the nutritional security for people. So now we'll move to the next article. We need to protect the whistleblowers. Now this particular article is important for GS paper number 2, critical evaluation of the GS paper number 2, critical evaluation of the government schemes, government initiatives, as well as in the issues of transparency and information. We are going to use this particular article. Now this particular article, it is talking about that how the India had failed to protect its whistleblowers. Now see, when we talk about the RTI, Right to Information Act, it is a very important legislation, and it has been an enabling legislation which have enabled the people in asking the relevant questions with the government. RTI has helped the people to seek the accountability of the government on very critical matters. Even the Center for Law and Democracy had classified RTI as the top 5 laws in the world. Fine, in the world, amongst the top 5 most impactful laws, RTI has been placed. Now guys, through the RTI, people can ask the information. Ordinary citizens have used this particular law to hold the accountability of the government, but guys, at the same time, there are many of the people who are facing dangers because using the RTI. So into the past, when the citizens, activists, lawyers, bureaucrats, researchers, they have used RTI, many a times there have been the backlashes on them because they have asked some of such sensitive information which might impact the interest of certain people. Is it clear or not? So guys, in this particular direction, it has been provided that 100 RTI activists have been killed across the countries over the last few years. Fine, RTI activists, the people who are asking the information through RTI, they are being harassed on the daily basis by the corrupt people or by the strongmen, muscle men of the criminal people. In this particular direction, the Bihar, it is turning out to be the most dangerous state for the RTI activists. Now when we talk about the Bihar is the first state in the number of deaths of the RTI users. Is it clear or not? In this particular capacity, guys, basically just since 2010, 20 RTI users have been killed, which is a huge number. Now guys, in this particular direction, the article is suggesting that we need to provide the protection to our whistleblowers. Now, who is a whistleblower? Whistleblower is a person who exposes some corruption, who exposes some misgovernance that is going in an organization. Now, the RT activists, they are similar to the whistleblowers. They seek government information and they highlight if there are some discrepancies, if there are some misgovernance that are going on. So basically, our whistleblowers who are using the RTI, they need to be provided a protection. Now, they have exposed irregularities in many of the acts. Fine, in many of the things they have exposed the corruption. They have exposed that how the public distribution system, they are having a corruption. In MG Narega, the corruption that is going on, Anganwadi center, housing schemes, illegally operating health clinics, and all these things they have exposed. Fine, but what is happening? They are being killed. So therefore, there are certain suggestions that are being given in this particular direction as what we need to do. So it has been provided that we need to move just beyond maintaining account. We need to create a social legal system which recognizes the RTI attacks and which provides the actual protection to them. In this particular direction, number one, the state government should direct the law enforcement agencies to expeditiously and in a time-bound manner to complete the investigations in all the cases where the RTI user was harassed, RTI user was attacked. So basically, a time-bound manner investigation into these cases needs to be there. If such kind of a thing will be there, the attackers, they will be discouraged. Okay, the attackers, they will feel demotivated. Fine, which is very much good thing. Okay. Moreover, adequate compensation to be provided to the victim's family if an RTI activist has been killed or has been seriously harmed. The next thing that has been provided is that basically the RTI users, RTI activists, the information that they are asking, that information should have already been provided by the state government on its own suo motu basis. Fine. So therefore, it has been provided that we need to institutionalize the proactive disclosure of information. Without even asking the information, suo motu information should be provided by the government departments. In this particular direction, there is example of Rajasthan. So Rajasthan has taken an active lead in disclosure. It has started the Jan Suchna portal. Now on this Jan Suchna portal, they are actively providing the information. Maximum information is being provided even without asking. Then there is Karnataka's Mahiti Kanaj example. Now the Mahiti Kannaj of the Karnataka is also an outstanding example where they are actively providing the disclosures. Then guys, the next suggestion that is provided is there that in all the cases where the threat have been given to the RTI user or where an RTI user has been attacked or killed, the state information commissions need to publicize that particular information even more. So basically, why an RTI user is being killed? Because somebody did not wanted him to tell that particular information. So if such kind of a thing is happening, then more publicization should be given to that particular information. Why? Because this particular thing will act as a deterrent against the attacks onto the RTI user. The perpetrators, they will get a message that if they will harass, if they will attack, rather than covering up the matter, that matter will become more exposed, matter will come in the more public scrutiny. So this is something that could be given. Then guys, the most important, last but the most important suggestion is that basically we need to come out with the whistleblower protection regime. Now see, in 2000 first of all, when we talk about the whistleblower, we already had come out with the Whistleblower Act in 2014, but guys, up till now 2022, 8 years have been filed, but this Whistleblower Act has not been notified. Its rule has not been notified, and because of that particular thing, it has not come onto the they have not come into the force. Supreme Court even in 2016 came down very heavily onto the union government that why it is not coming out with the Whistleblower Act rules, why it is not notifying it. So immediately the Whistleblower Act is needed to be notified. So this is something that needs to be done to protect the whistleblowers, to protect the RT activists. Fine, that is all guys about it. Okay, now moving on. Sir, what is whistleblower? Asna, I told you that whistleblower is a person who is exposing some corruption going on in an organization. Okay. Jai Shankar pushes for Chabahar port. So guys, basically what has happened, the foreign minister's SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, fine, few days back there were multiple articles also that came onto the SCO. Why? Because the Iran and Belarus were joining the SCO. Okay, now basically SCO Shanghai Cooperation Organization's foreign ministers meet has been held in the Tashkent, where the Indian Minister of External Affairs has also participated. And there, India had pushed for the Chabahar port. Fine, India had said that the Chabahar port could be a gateway or could be a conduit to carry the trade with the Central Asia. Guys, when we talk about the Central Asia happens to be a very important region for India. Even India has a connect Central Asia policy also. Now guys, basically let's discuss little bit about the Chabahar port. So the Chabahar port, it is situated in Iran. Chabahar port is situated in the Iran. So basically, when the trade of India with the Central Asia is concerned, we don't have direct connectivity with the Central Asia. Because of that particular thing, now how to reach the Central Asia? For that particular thing, we are exploring that we can reach from the Kandala port in Gujarat to this particular Gwadar port, which will be developed in the Iran by the India. Then from here through the railway network we could reach to the Afghanistan, and then guys, in the Afghanistan we have developed the Zaranj Dileram road. We have developed the Zaranj Dileram road. Through this Zaranj Dileram road we can transit the Afghanistan, and after that we can reach to the Central Asia. So basically the Chabahar port, it is to be operationalized, it is to be developed, and other countries should also support the Chabahar port project. It will provide a good connectivity to the Central Asian region. Moreover, Central Asian region can also use the Chabahar port from Central Asia to come near the Gulf of Oman, and they can also get the better connectivity in this region. Now guys, as the India was talking about, was pushing the Chabahar port, the Pakistan has proposed that they should, the Pakistan has proposed that rather than China-Pakistan economic corridor needs to be given more preference. China-Pakistan economic corridor. Now guys, when we talk about the China-Pakistan economic corridor, okay, so China-Pakistan economic corridor, it is a multi-billion-dollar project that is being sponsored by the China under their Belt and Road initiative. And through the China-Pakistan economic corridor, China wants to connect their Xinjiang region. They want to connect their Xinjiang region with the Gwadar port. Fine. So this China-Pakistan economic corridor, it will have railway network, it will have bridges, roadways, all these things will be there. Now India has objected to the China-Pakistan economic corridor from the very start. Why? Because this China-Pakistan economic corridor, it passes from the POK, fine, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now guys, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, it is an Indian territory which has actually been illegally it has been captured by the Pakistan. It is not a Pakistani territory, it is an Indian territory. And if the project will pass from this particular territory, which is a China and Pakistan led project, it will mean that actually the territory belongs to the Pakistan. So India had objected to the China-Pakistan economic corridor because it is passing illegally through the Indian territory which has been illegally captured by the Pakistan. Fine. So this is something that has been brought here. Now guys, moreover, the India had also provided that basically Afghanistan will be provided the humanitarian assistance because of the food crisis that is going into the Afghanistan, because of the economic crisis that is going in the Afghanistan after coming off the Taliban. Moreover guys, in this SCO meet, the Mr. Minister of External Affairs has also provided this particular thing that right now the food crisis that is coming into the world due to the Russia-Ukraine crisis needs to be addressed. So though guys, again, India had not pointed Russia that Russia is responsible for this particular war, but India had provided that we need to do something on this particular front. And then India has provided that India has a zero tolerance against for the terrorism. Terrorism can never be tolerated. Terrorism is the most problematic thing that is plaguing the entire world. Fine. So this has been the India's stand. Fine. India has always very vocally criticized the terrorist fronts, the countries, the organization that are funding them. Okay, so this is something that has happened on this particular front. So this is all about this issue. I hope guys that you have understood it, and with this we now come to an end to the today's newspaper analysis. So guys, now we'll be meeting on Monday. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Fine. Every week I say that guys, basically please always keep your Sundays as a day for the revision and for the consolidation of the content that you have read throughout the entire week. So please revise all the current affairs that we have done. Fine. On the Sundays there is a text and context page that doesn't comes, editorial page doesn't comes, then the lifestyle and all these leisure things are there which are there into the newspaper which are not relevant for UPSC examination. Moreover, the FAQ page that comes onto the Sunday, it contains a summary that we have already discussed into the newspaper. Fine. So rather, I will advise you, please revise and consolidate your current affairs that you have read throughout the entire week. So now we'll be meeting on Monday. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much.